Welcome, Rapids fans, to another edition of The Rundown, Rocky Mountain Cup edition. And here I'm going to talk with Drew Moor about the significance, the importance of Rocky Mountain Cup between Colorado Rapids and Real Salt Lake. Speaking of Real Salt Lake, we'll preview that match with Drew, looking to see what the Rapids will have to do to earn a win at America First Field. That and more on The Rundown. All right, here we go, Drew. Round 2 of the Rocky Mountain Cup. Now, the first leg obviously did not go our way. That took place here at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. It was a 3-2 loss to Real Salt Lake, but this is another opportunity for the Colorado Rapids to eventually go to America First Field and earn a result. But before we get to previewing the match against Real Salt Lake, let's talk about the significance, how important the Rocky Mountain Cup is for the fans, for the players. You, as someone who has played in it, who has won it, walk me through how important it is to be able to win Rocky Mountain Cup.
It's massive. Doesn't really matter who's playing on either side. It doesn't matter where either side is in the table. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. It doesn't matter which stadium it's at. It's massive. The Rapids even had some of our supporters come out to us before the first leg of the Rocky Mountain Cup, which was paired with the Open Cup match against Salt Lake earlier this season, to share with us their side of the Rocky Mountain Cup and the significance to them. And so obviously it's huge for the fans, and for that reason it's huge for the players and the clubs as well. And like I said, it doesn't matter the table position or the form. When these two teams meet each other, it doesn't matter. And I think going way back, there's been so many players that have played for both sides of the Rocky Mountain Cup, both Salt Lake and Colorado. There's been matches played on the last day of the season or towards the end of the season where literally playoff lives were on the line. There's a lot of bad blood between these two sides, and it'll be no different this weekend either.
Absolutely. You mentioned that you have some folks who were on two sides of this rivalry. Although he didn't play on both sides, head coach Pablo Mastroeni, of course, who is a Rapids legend with everything that he did, including MLS Cup back in 2010, which you were a part of for the club, but now coaching Real Salt Lake. And to be fair, he's been doing a very good job there at Real Salt Lake, managing that club ever since he took the helm.
Yeah, Pablo's team is an embodiment of who he was as a player, right? The way he played, the way he wore his emotions on his sleeve, and he says it in his press conferences and when he's got a microphone in front of him, he wants his team to win the street fight first, to go out and battle. Yeah, they've got very good players. They've got some general principles, some tactics that they rely on, but what you're going to get from Real Salt Lake is a grinded out, hard mentality, and they've shown that ever since he took over there in Salt Lake City. And he's somebody that I think everybody at this club has a lot of respect for, and I'm number one because I played with him, I was in a locker room with him, played against him. He's somebody that, as much as everybody here respects, you want to beat him just as badly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, it is Pablo, but he's with Real Salt Lake at the moment, and with the rivalry that is there between the Colorado Rapids and Real Salt Lake, all that is forgotten for those 90 minutes when those come around. Speaking of Real Salt Lake, very strong at home, but very recently took a punch to the mouth from Houston Dynamo, who haven't typically been good on the road, won 3-0 at America First Field. That's very unheard of for any team to do, quite frankly, in Salt Lake City. What do the Rapids need to do to replicate that, to earn a result there, be it a draw or even a win in Salt Lake City?
You have to win the fight first, win the battle, win the physical side of this match. And Salt Lake got punched in the mouth last week, and really they lost in Houston in the Open Cup earlier in the week, right? And went out of Leagues Cup 4-0 at LAFC. So they're coming off some tough results, but it doesn't matter. The Rapids got punched in the mouth the week before as well to LAFC, and so both teams will come in looking to rebound from recent results. But again, I don't think the recent results, I don't think who they've played recently, it's Salt Lake, Colorado Rapids, right? It's the Rocky Mountain Cup. And so they have to win the physical side of the game first. The fans will be into it. Both sides will be juiced up and looking to establish their physical dominance early. And I think Robin always points to it. It's this team comes in and they seem to be ready to fight before the soccer comes out, right? And then the soccer will eventually develop, but you have to be ready for a street fight first, as I just said. You know Pablo's side is going to be ready for a street fight, and so they're a team that might be vulnerable right now, but take form out of it, take results out of it, and focus on this is the team who your fans want you to beat more than anybody, and that needs to fuel you in the early parts of the game. And when the soccer breaks out, that's when you play some football.
Tough test against Real Salt Lake, whether it's the grit, the fight that they bring, emblematic of what Paulo was as a player, but also now the quality that you see with some of the players that you listed out with the Chicho Arango, Danny Musovsky, amongst others that they brought in the last year or so. Drew, I wanted to get your best memory from you playing, being a part of Rocky Mountain Cup, this very intense rivalry. What's one that kind of sticks in your mind?
I have some good memories and I have some bad memories from Rocky Mountain Cup, but certainly my favorite is in 2020. We had to go to Salt Lake and win by 4 goals to claim the Rocky Mountain Cup. We won by 5 goals. We won 5-0. And took the cup in their house. You know, I think we just wanted to go in that day and win the game because we wanted to get points in the standings. We were heading towards a playoff berth. But to actually go and play the way we did, and play together and really like show what it meant to us, what the Rocky Mountain Cup meant to us was pretty special. And to walk off their field with that trophy after pounding them 5-0. There was some mix-ups after the game, right, on the field. It was pretty awesome. And while this is the second leg of the Rocky Mountain Cup, it's massive. And hopefully the Rapids are going to go and play with that kind of mentality and that kind of spirit that we did in 2020 to claim the cup in their house. And I expect no different on Saturday night.
Well, there you heard from Drew in terms of his favorite memory of Rocky Mountain Cup, a very memorable Rocky Mountain Cup win in 2020 at Salt Lake City. And the Rapids will hope to replicate that sort of form, that sort of grit and desire to earn a result at America First Field. The match will take place on Saturday, September 2nd. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time, and you can tune into that match on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. That'll do it from us for The Rundown.